Hello, everybody. For those of you who have just joined us, as you could hear, I am here in Los Angeles. I didn't see anybody else in California. I know I have some friends in Pennsylvania too, so thank you all for coming and for being here. We have such a special show here for you today. And the show is a story, as Teacher Seth mentioned, about some very cool friends of ours that were created by the people that you see here today. So let's meet some of our other friends so we can take a look. So here today, you met Teacher Seth. Oh, Teacher Seth, you have somebody else that's very special with us. Can we give a shout out to Vita?
Oh my gosh, I almost forgot to introduce you here. This is Professor Vita. Professor Vita, where did you go to graduate school?
Wait, what?
Just kidding. Anything you want to say to your fans today?
Thanks for all coming.
Yeah. Happy last day of school to Vernon people. Yeah. It was the last day of school yesterday. We watched the teachers drive by in a little teacher parade, which was a happy, sad way to end a happy, sad year.
Well, I'm glad that you're here today, Vita. And do you have a friend with you?
Oh yeah, I have two friends.
Can you tell me about them?
Well, this is Shina, and this is Birdie. they'll be a part of our story.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Vita. We have someone else very special. We have the author of the story that we're about to share, Diane Kaufman.
Hi, everybody. Hi.
Now, Diane is not just the author, though. She is also a feelings doctor. So she is a very special person to have here with us today because it's a story all about feelings. And last but not least, we have somebody else. I see Timothy Rimjimji.
Hi, heroes! Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for visiting the Pacific Puppetry Institute today. I am Teacher Timothy, and you may recognize me from the Superhero Sheltering in Place episodes where we practiced empathy and optimism for America. In those episodes, I learned that my feelings are actually my superpowers. I learned about the zones, red, yellow, blue, and green. How's everybody feeling right now? Are you feeling red, a little blue, a little green, a little yellow? I'm yellow today because I'm excited because our special guests are brand new puppets telling their story for the very first time. You may have noticed that I'm a puppet. You feel me? Playing puppets is a good choice because it does no harm. In fact, doing any kind of art is medicine. It's like a creative lifeline. My favorite is singing, but I like to dance too. Teacher Lucas likes to write songs, and so do I. Here's one I wrote. Sing along with me if you know it. I'm doing the best I can, and so is everyone else. I'm doing the best I can, and so is everyone else. I'm doing the best I can, and so is everyone else. I'm doing the best I can, and so is everyone else. Thank you so much for coming, and I will see you later.
Oh, Timothy, that song deserves at least a little round of applause. I love it. I sing it all the time now. Thank you. And we are going to come back to you in just a couple minutes. We're going to get started talking about our story. And our story today, Bird That Wants to Fly, is a story of hope and of healing. This is a quote from one of my favorite poets, Langston Hughes. He says, "Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly." And you'll see how that relates to the story in just a minute. What we're going to do today, you are ready to meet and greet, and we're going to take a look at the puppets a bit more. We have a 3-act puppet play opera, and then we're going to get to talk to the author of the story at the end. So first, some shout outs to some very important people that this couldn't have been made possible without, and you'll see this credit slide again at the end. This whole slideshow will be shared with you so that you can access all of these resources. We have some puppet cutouts, some coloring pages, and links to lots of things that you might want to check out. So we have, are we going back to Timothy? No, we're ready to meet Chris. That's right, Chris. Timothy went bye-bye for now, and now we're going to talk to the puppeteer herself.
Hi, everyone. I'm a puppeteer. I'm Chris, and I am a little bit shy. For me, doing a puppet show feels a little like riding a roller coaster. It takes some courage, but once I start, I have fun. And how many of you have ridden a roller coaster? Anybody? It's so fun, right? You wait in line forever and ever and ever, and then you get into the car, and then you go up really, really slow, and then you get to the top, and then zoom, zoom, zoom. It's like a metaphor for life. So today's puppet play is a creative lifeline, and we are adapting the book, Bird That Wants to Fly. This is the book by Diane, and we'll get to talk to her later. But this book has two archetypal characters, a bird and a horse. The bird that wants to fly and beautiful animal that I am. An archetype is just a typical example of something. In this case, a bird and a horse. In this style of puppetry, I'm dressed in black so that I disappear into the background. I'm going to wear black gloves and hood. Oh, before I put on my gloves, with your hands, if you don't have a puppet, you can make a puppet. If you just go like this, then this is like a dog, or it could be the horse. And if you go like this could be your bird. Okay, so if you want to puppet along with me, great. So I'm going to put on my gloves, and I'm going to change the scenery so that you can see the beautiful artwork from the book. And you'll see the roller coaster. Oh yes, there it is, the Winter Carnival. And you see it, and now I am going to change my virtual background.
Whoa.
And start.
The magic.
Act one.
So while we're waiting, everybody, what do you see in this carnival picture? And how do carnivals make you feel? What about up on the screen here? You can write in the chat. What do you see happening here?
I give up. Life is so long and dreary sometimes, with sadness and sorrow and heartache and pain. The harder I try, the stronger the pain. With tears and troubles and strife in my life, no matter how hard you try, sometimes life doesn't always go as planned. I will go on in sorrow and pain, 'cause life is so That's the end of Act 1.
Fantastic. Let's give a round of applause. So Act 1 was all about the song, Life is So Long. That's what the bird was singing about. So how do you think bird feels? And how do you know? If it helps, you can refer back to the feelings chart. You can use words to describe it. You can use the colors to describe how you think bird feels. Rita, how do you think bird felt in this scene here?
I think he felt on the blue side. Blue side. His head was very down, and he was singing kind of a sad song and being like, I give up. I can't do it anymore.
How do you know it was a sad song?
It was very soft, and he was singing about something that's a little like bluish.
Yeah. Do you think that if there weren't any words in the song, you would still know it was a sad song?
Yeah, it's because of the rhythm.
The rhythm was kind of slow and like the blah, 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 right? Instead of like ba 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 ba, right? Like right? Yeah, that would be a happy song, but the
Yeah.
yeah.
And Roxy had a really good point here. She said sad because it looked as if he was crying. And you could tell because his head was probably down a little bit. His body looked different. So we could tell by the words he said, by the way the song sounded, and by the way he looked, because empathy is seeing with the eyes, hearing with the ears, feeling with the heart of another. So we just had empathy for Bird.
And that's such a great way to practice empathy too, is to really look at people's body, right? Like you can tell when someone carries their body in a certain way that they're happy or sad or excited or angry. And we could really see that in the bird there, which also means, wow, puppeteer Chris is a great puppeteer.
Yeah, and great to Sasha said lonely. He was feeling lonely. And Cassidy said very discouraged and hopeless. But he says he'll go on, which shows there will be a future. The bird is looking down and moves slowly. Sounds miserable. Great, great, great. Oh, and the tears. Great, Roxy. Thank you so much. Fantastic answers. And I think that we're ready to see Act 2, which is about dancing your dream.
Oh, little bird, why are you walking and not flying? Doesn't it take longer that way? I used to know how to fly. You did? What happened? It's a long, sad story. Can you stay a while? I'm in no hurry. I can stay as long as you like. Perhaps you'd like to rest on my back if your story is as long as you say. Oh, no, thank you.
I have to sing it. I was born to fly in the sky. My lovely wings were my pride. Oh, I want to see your lovely wings. I was caught in rainstorms and snowstorms, blizzards and freezing rain. Were you injured? My foot. But why don't you fly? I only walk now. It's not safe to fly. Oh, how I wish I was a fish. Oh, little bird, tell me more of your story. What do you mean? Well, your journey. Why you decided to walk. What happened after the storm? Oh, you want to know what happened? I'll tell you what happened. There were men with guns. You were shot? There were children throwing rocks. You were hit. And when I tried to get away, I crashed into other birds and they made fun of me. Oh, little bird. You must be exhausted. Rest on my back for a while. May I see your beautiful wings? I won't fly for you. You can't make me. I like you, even if you get angry. If you change your mind, I'll be right here. Well, maybe I'll just climb up. Better rest a while. I'm not tired. Shh, they're sleeping. While little bird sleeps, we'll have intermission. It's time to learn to waltz. Who's heard of waltzing? Can you hear the music? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Good. Now you can use your hands separately like this. Go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If you were dancing with another person, this is what you might do. Good. Now forward and back. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, now let's break out our puppets. If you have a puppet, you can use a puppet. If you have just your hands, you can use your hands. And the bird and the horse will dance. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Maybe the horse wants to have a solo. What if the horse and the bird became one and flew? What does flying feel like? Oh, send all your flying energy to little bird. Let's have the end, and that's the end of Act 2.
Everybody, round of applause. Wow. That was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. So now we're going to go back and ask some questions about what you just saw. Horse was there and the bird. So how do you think horse felt in this act? And how do you know how he felt? Go ahead and write it in the chat. And Vita, what do you think? May I ask?
How do you think horse felt?
I think he felt kind of like happy, like a kind of happy where you feel like really empathy in that happy. It was like he was helping the bird and he thought it was very kind. Yeah. So I thought he was feeling like really empathy happy.
And why do you think he wanted to help the bird?
Because he wanted the bird to fly and be what he was meant to be.
We've got some pretty good answers rolling in too from our participants, Teacher Jackie.
Yeah, I'm seeing Roxy. Thank you. You said friendly. I like that. And sorry for the bird, which is another way of saying what Mary said, sympathetic. And Nori says, I think the horse felt bad for the bird and wants to help the bird. Exactly, yeah. So it looks like he really feels some strong empathy toward him. He saw the bird standing there just like we did, and he saw that the bird was sad. He asked the bird how he was doing, and he heard that the bird had a hard time in life. And that probably helped him understand how the bird felt and use that empathy. So we're going to take a look at our final act of the play. Are we ready in the puppet world?
Ready?
Fantastic. So let's see what happens when bird and horse come back together.
Oh, it's evening. I must have been so tired and didn't know it. I'm sure it was morning when I started to walk. You were very tired and needed rest. Now, would you like to hear the rest of your story? What do you mean? I had a dream about you. I dreamed a dream. You flew so high that you could touch the sky. Each day I'd sing a sweet solemn song that all your dreams would soon come true. You dreamed I flew so high that I could touch the sky. Each day I sit and watch the other birds fly by in the sky so lovely. How I wish it could be me. The winds of time are changing now. Each day will lead you to your goal. Dream, 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 dream. You'll fly so far away. I dreamed a dream. You flew so high that you could touch the sky. Each day you'd sing a sweet solemn song that all my dreams would soon come true. You dreamed I flew, I flew, I flew, so high that you could touch the sky. Each day I sing a sweet solemn song. How I wish that you would fly, fly, fly. Oh, maybe I could fly again. I know. Let's go for a ride on the roller coaster. I know the owner and we can go, just the two of us. Well, the please enter sign is very inviting. I have only one request. I want to see your beautiful wings. Won't you fly to the coaster's seat? It's just over there, not so far. A good way to begin. I'm scared. I will keep you safe. I feel sick to my stomach. Courage, little bird, courage. What if I fail? You can't fail. You're a bird born to fly. Try, try, try. I can't do it, horse. I can't do it. I just can't do it. I'm never gonna fly again. I'm never gonna fly again. Little bird, breathe. Take a breath. Good. Now another. All right. Now, count to 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. Flap your wings on 1. You can do this. First, look! I made it to the please enter sign! Whee! Look at my wings! Woohoo! Horse! I'll see you at the roller coaster! Well, bird is flying high in the sky. But that is not the end of our story. What do you think happens next? Now spread your wings and fly.
And that is the
Oh,
theater production today. Bird That Wants to Fly. I'm Chris, your puppeteer, and I'm going to be here to answer questions and talk about puppets. But now a very exciting thing gets to happen when we get to meet the author.
thank you. Yes, we have with us the author, and she is going to share with us some of her experiences. But first, I want to throw out there, everybody, if you have a question for the author, you can type it in the chat. And I want to take a look at the end of our story there and tell us the last thing that Horse said there is, what do you think happens next? So what do you think happens next in the story? You can go ahead and write in the chat. Vida, our resident expert, what do you think happens next?
I think that little bird will be flying, but then another bird quits flying. But little birds does the same thing like the horse. Makes it so he can fly, makes it so like he's like leading a group, and he'll like lead a group of birds that don't want to fly, but then just fly.
Wow, so I think that means like paying it forward, right? When a good thing's done for you, and then you decide that, you know, in addition to thanking the person that helped you, you can pay it forward, do something kind for someone else. I love that idea, Vita.
Yeah, we got some other ideas coming in. Roxy,
Anybody have any little bird puppets out there that need some encouragement?
does anybody have any birds? I have a little bird.
Yeah, this little
I
bird.
want you to have courage.
Okay. Courage. Go.
Thank you. And let's see.
I could encourage another little bird here. I have another little bird.
Sure, if you're ready, that would be great. Let's check it out.
This is my new friend.
Oh, hello, new
He's
friend.
a prototype.
I'm a prototype.
These birds are made out of foam and fabric, and this one has a handle. It's hard to see because it's black, but this makes the beak open up and down. Oop, 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 oop. Bird will visit horse every month to go on the roller coaster together. Yay! I wish I had a roller coaster to ride on right now, but let's see if I can make bird and horse ride on the roller coaster together.
Ooh. Roller coaster. Come on, bird and horse.
While she's setting that up, there's some other really cool ideas too, like horse sprouts wings because they're actually a Pegasus and they fly away together. Amy had that idea. I think it's so cool.
No way, Amy. Guess what? We thought about that too. And that's so true. If you put them together, that's what you get. Uh-oh. We got bird and horse ready for the roller coaster now? Whee!
Whee!
Oh, they look like such good friends. It's probably how I look when I sit next to my friends. I'm the bird. Yeah, these were some great suggestions. And Diane added some good ones there about practicing to be confident and brave. And the more you practice, the more confident and brave you are. I have a lot of respect for Chris because she can make her puppets come to life so much better than I can because she practiced and it makes her so brave. And I think that's really awesome. So great work, everybody. And now I think let's take a look at our Pegasus. Oh, I'm so sorry here. Give me just a second. We also have one here mentioning the Pegasus that you can even play at home. You can print this out and we send it out to you. And Diane, since this was your creation and from your heart and your mind, I would like to throw it out to you and ask you about the Pegasus connection.
Sure. So in mythology, the Pegasus is, as we've said, a combination of the horse and the bird. And if you go back in the story, anybody knows the story of Medusa, who like turned people into stone, and she had like snakes coming out of her head, that out of her neck came a full-blown Pegasus. And Pegasus, wherever Pegasus would strike his hoof on the ground, a healing fountain would appear. And Zeus wanted Pegasus to carry his thunderbolts. So he was very respected. And there's a constellation in the sky of Pegasus, right? Yeah.
Wow. Pegasus is pretty magical, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's a symbol of poetry and creativity.
While we're talking about Pegasus, I have a printable that's in a PDF, so it wasn't able to go on the slide. But if people want it, you can write to me at Pacific Puppetry and I can send it to you. But it's a really great printable. It's made by Lion Hill. And if you see the way that it's made, you cut it out without having to cut into all of the little places. And then it has the holes where you put the joints, because where the puppet is jointed is very important as far as how it moves. And then you put the rods on the head and the wing, and that is how the puppet moves. And this could be a shadow puppet or a regular puppet.
Whoa, that's cool. Thank you. We have some great questions now rolling in from our audience here. And one of them was from Cassidy, who said, "What inspired you to write this story?"
Okay, well, I wrote this story at a arts and healing workshop in New York City 10 years ago in 2010. And the workshop was about oneself and kind of putting the parts of ourselves or the feelings that we have or the experience together in a healthy whole. And I went to this workshop for my own healing because of stuff that had happened to me as a child and maybe older too. And the exercise in the class, and we have, I think, a slide about this too, was with your non-writing hand. We were asked, so that would be my left hand, because I don't write with my left hand. We were asked to have 3 pieces of paper and kind of just scribble on the page without thinking of what we were drawing, just do a scribble. And then we were asked to look at the scribble and see if we saw an image in it, like a picture, and then to fill in the lines to make it into what we thought it was. And then we were asked to title the picture, give it a name. So I thought I saw a bird in the first one, and I made it into a bird. And these were representing different parts of myself. And I called it Bird That Wants to Fly, which means that I wanted to be all that I can be. And I guess to have courage to be myself. Then the next one is to the right. I thought it looked like a horse, and you can see how I made it into a horse. And initially I titled it or gave it the name Beautiful Animal That You Are. But as soon as I wrote that, I thought I'd change it to Beautiful Animal That I Am, which kind of was referring to kind of my soul or the spirit that we all have, which is beautiful. And then the third picture, I had done some loop-de-loops, and I thought it looked like a roller coaster, so I made it into a roller coaster, and I had a please enter sign with arrows going in, and I named it more than just a name. It was a question, and the question was, roller coasting can be fun, true, false, or both. And that part of myself was my life. And I was thinking about, is it happy? Is it sad? Is it scary? Do I want to be on the roller coaster? Or maybe I don't want to be on the roller coaster. And that's what I titled it. And then the next thing the workshop group leaders did was to invite me, and this was true for everybody in the group, they had a turn doing this. I stood in the center of a circle, and then I embodied each image, which means that I became the image. I had empathy for the image, or became the image, and I allowed that image, which represented yearnings and parts of myself, to speak. And so I became the bird and talking about what was happening with me, that I wanted to fly, but I couldn't fly. I talked about the beautiful animal that I was and how strong and courageous and natural I was. And then I talked about what it was like to be on the roller coaster of life. And sometimes I was very scared, and sometimes I felt like throwing up, and sometimes I didn't want to be on the roller coaster. And so some of these were also metaphors, right? And then the instructor gave us, or we chose a pen and a piece of paper, and we were asked to write. So out of all these experiences, and if anyone knows Carl Gustav Jung, they talk about the collective unconscious and these kind of imaginings where you speak to that energy, the archetypal energies. And then I just picked up my pen, and like, I don't know, like an amazing thing, from the first word to the last word, I wrote the story, and it's the same story that I wrote on the spot 10 years ago.
Wow. That's a really, really cool process. And what I love about it is it's something that I think all of our friends at home could do too. Because it starts with something so simple, a scribble. We can all scribble. And really simple pictures and drawings. And so if you want to try this at home, writing a story, drawing are great ways to get some feelings out and express yourself. So that's really cool. Now we had another great question in the chat here from Christine, and she asked, what is your favorite part of the story?
I think it's hard to say just one, but I think I would say when we didn't see this in the puppet performance now, but if you read the story of the booklet, you'll see that when the bird initially is sad, and we saw that in the first act, the bird is walking off, but in the story, the bird also walks into a puddle. And the reason why the bird walks into the puddle is that she's feeling so stuck that she's not even paying attention to where she's going. And she goes into the puddle, and then she backs away. And when she looks down into the puddle, instead of seeing her own reflection, which would be this little sad bird, in the water is the words, beautiful animal that I am, which is her true reflection. And then she looks up and she sees the horse. And I think that's my favorite part of the story.
Oh, that's really sweet. Can I ask, I'm going to ask just Vita real quick. Vita, what was your favorite part of the story? And friends at home, what's your favorite part of the story? I think that's a great question for us all.
My favorite part of the story, I guess, was when Bird kind of hid under the horse, because you just wanted to make it so he looked like, so you could hide his face so he would be looking like he was sleeping. Yeah, I think that was my favorite part.
When he finally relaxed and slept on the back of the horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's super sweet. And now, my favorite part, I like sparkly, shiny things. So when those wings came out, I was so excited, and I get really stoked when people achieve the things and it gets that breakthrough point where they're like, yes, I'm me. I am the beautiful creature that I am. And Christine said she liked, oh, that's nice. When the horse encouraged the bird and the bird tried hard. Yes. It's always nice to have those friends. So I do believe we're just about out of time here. So I want to share a few last things with you before we end for the day.
Can I take one?
Oh, sorry. Yes, please.
I'm sorry. I was hoping I'd get a chance to share a couple of puppets that are tabletop puppets and just talk about the design process. My background in puppetry. I just wanted to show this real quick because we talked about the design process, right? Because when you're designing a puppet, can you see this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's a little dark, but I can see him.
Yoga, and a designer that we had put a red jacket on him, And my boss at that time said a Japanese man would never, ever, ever wear a red jacket. And so there's something about culture when you're trying to make a puppet, that you have to try to follow the proper culture. And this, what I love about this story is it's not a particular culture, it's archetypal. It's a cross-cultural story because everybody has these characters. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. And we have some resources that we're going to share here at the end too. Just wanted to give thanks again to everybody that helped make this happen. And Tears of Joy Theater, Diane, I believe this was yours, and if you wanted to say anything additional.
This was me. That's the company I worked for 20 years.
Oh, fantastic. And importantly, thank all of you for being here and for participating. If you feel inspired to write or make some art, please share it with us. We love to see what kids are doing, and it's very inspiring to us to see you be inspired. There's some additional resources here related to Bird That Wants to Fly, a couple options if you want to buy the book. And you can get it in Spanish, you can get it in English, you can watch performances of it, you can listen to it. We had sent this out prior that you could hear Danny Glover reading it. And then there's a whole opera. That's where all those songs came from. It's just a book. And somebody else made it into this beautiful opera. And then some other supplemental resources. Diane?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Kevin Maynor, who is probably in New Jersey right now. Kevin is the director of Trilogy and Opera Company. And it was Kevin who saw the potential of Bird That Wants to Fly to be an opera. And he contacted Michael Raphael, who's the composer. And that's how amazingly an opera came out of a story. So it's wonderful.
That's
Yeah.
Shout out. Thank you. I love the music too. The music has so much feeling in it and just carries the tone. So it's super great work. And
Watching today, which is pretty cool.
what's that?
Kevin is here watching today. He just chatted in the panel there.
Yeah. Hey, Kevin. You're awesome, and thank you for your creative work and for the beautiful creation that you made here. Chris has some puppetry resources here, and you can check those out, including the puppet she was showing you with the Pegasus. And then Banyan Global Learning has some resources as well. You can check out some of our things we do with social emotional learning over the last couple months. We have a brand new song that shows Anyway, You Feel It's Okay. It's one of my favorite songs ever, written by Lucas, who was part of our old show as well. We have playlists, and you can learn more about BGL as well. Diane.
Yes, I don't want to forget the wonderful artist Olya Kaletsai, who illustrated Bird That Wants to Fly. And I'd like to tell, if I could, a little story about how I met Olya, because I think these are examples of when you believe in your creativity or you feel like something is a positive idea, that it's important to believe in that and nurture it, and also to be brave and reach out to other people, because everything is really a co-creation and collaboration with others. We can't just do it by ourselves. So what had happened was I wrote the story, and then maybe a while later, I just happened to be looking at a college catalog from Salve Regina University in Newport, Rhode Island, and I was living in New Jersey. And there was an artist who had just graduated college, and they had pictures of her exhibit that she had drawn of zoo animals. And when I saw her pictures, I thought, wow, she could illustrate the story. And at that point, I wasn't thinking of a book, and in no way was I thinking about an opera, and not at all a puppet show. I was just thinking about the story, and I wanted to see how it could become more beautiful. And I didn't know Olya, and I got on the phone and I called up Salva Regina University in Rhode Island. And I said, I have to find Olia because I want to work with her. And she and I collaborated for over a year in creating the story together. So it's wonderful when, and I think this is very symbolic. It's like having a vision. It doesn't have to be a vision about a bird and a horse. It can be a vision about your life, about society, about your community, and then you're able to envision it yourself, and you reach out to others that have different talents, but we all share the same vision, and then something beautiful can come of that.
I like it. That's a very, very beautiful thing. Oh, Timothy. Timothy's back. Does he have something to say?
I just want to say thanks so much for coming because Pacific Puppetry is my home, and I'm so appreciative that you came here to learn a little bit about puppets.
Well, we're so appreciative that you teach us about puppets because I think they're pretty magical and special. I obviously have lots of puppet friends myself, and during these times, I'm very grateful for them. So thank you, Timothy, and thank you for being your awesome, positive, happy self. Can you sing your song one more time for me?
I'm doing the best I can, and so is everyone else. I'm doing the best I can, and so is everyone else. I'm doing the best I can, and so is everyone else. I'm doing the best I can, and so is everyone else.
You're so awesome. Thanks, Timothy, and thank you to everyone. We will share the slideshow with you. There will be a recording. And we do just want to give you a heads up about another trip that we have coming up next Thursday. Seth, would you like to tell everybody about it?
Sure, yeah. Next Thursday, we're collaborating with an awesome dance group in New York City. And we are going to be exploring our feelings again, this time through movement. And you guys are going to need a nice big space so that you can move around and dance. There's some really cool instructors that are going to share some interesting things with you. We're going to show you some different dances and predict what kind of emotions they are expressing. You guys are going to express your emotions through dance. It's going to be super duper cool. It is next Thursday. We always do these on Thursdays at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And we hope that you guys sign up for that. I am going to send all of your parents an email after this show, and there will be information about how to sign up there. I know that Vita also was inspired by Diane, the author, and she wanted to share with you guys quickly her little story that she wrote. Do you want to show?
It's called Families of Families and the Lost Girl, and I wrote it of a little girl that got lost from her family and was in an orphanage, and then her sister went to go looking out for her and found her.
Nice.
It's good to have a sister.
Can we see your story?
Well, you can see the pictures.
Oh my gosh, Vita, that's amazing.
That's when she gets. This is when we're just introducing Tulip, which is the girl's name, and that's when she gets stuck in the snowstorm. And now that's her sister with her parents, which are blinded, and that's where she's gone to the police, and she had an accent.
She had an accent, so when she said, "I'm from Michigan," the police heard, "I'm from Ohio," and they sent her to
And that's when Rose, so then Rose escapes.
And if you can't tell, she had a lot of time to do this. I don't know if you guys heard, but school was closed this spring.
Lockdown artwork.
That's when Rosie reaches the orphanage, and that's the wall of the orphanage. And these are them being together.
Pretty cool. And if you guys have any stories that you guys want to share, we threw up a hashtag there that you guys can use on any social media, Bird That Wants to Fly, BTWTF. And that information, again, is going to be sent out to your parents in an email once this is over. Thanks for sharing that, Vita.
Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody. It's been so great having you all here and really, really appreciate all the support. And check us out next week if you want to keep it going with your feelings and your dancings. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
Oh, Jackie, can you play any way you feel it's okay? Just play that music video on the way out.
Oh, sure. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Give me just a
Yeah, I
second.
love that one.
Send off with that little tune.
Oh, I love it.
Any way you feel, it's okay.
Boom.
All right.
Any way you feel, it's okay. Sometimes you want to get out, scream, shout, and play. Sometimes you just rather be on your own, off your phone, and all alone. When there are a lot of people around, I get so excited. I like to tell jokes and hear stories and run around and play and be loud. It's so fun. But sometimes, when there are a lot of people around, I get a little bit overwhelmed. And I'd rather just chill, listen to music or read a book. And that's okay too. Or sometimes, my friends say, "Hey, I got a new dance. Do you want to see?" And I say, "Yeah, I want to see." And they say, "Okay." And I say, "That was so cool." But sometimes my friends say, "Hey, I got a new dance. Do you want to see?" And I say, "Maybe later. I'd rather just be by myself right now." And they say, "Well, that's okay." Because any way you feel, it's okay. Sometimes you want to get out and scream and shout and play. But sometimes you just rather be on your own, off your phone, and all alone. And that's okay too.
Oh, thank you, Lucas. And thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Great job. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.